Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Whether you're here in person or if you're watching live, I just want to let you know we are NGHWA.org, in case you didn't know. And we would love for you to join us. So please check out the website, NGHWA.org. There are some great benefits to joining. One of the benefits is you get to be listed in the directory, and it's only $45 a year. And this is separate from, it's not separate from, it's sort of, so everybody's, if you're a hypnotist, you've probably heard of the National Guild of Hypnotists, the international organization. We would love for you to join that as well. However, just to be a member, you don't actually have to be a member. To be a member of the local chapter, you don't have to be a member of the international organization. You just can't be on the board. You have to be part of that to be on the board. But otherwise, yeah, we would love for you to join us. And so, yeah.
All right, great. And if you want to think about the benefits of being in the Washington chapter, like I said, we have a great website, compliments of Mark Farmer. And then you can be in the directory of that. You can attend our monthly meetings when you pay your dues. You can attend these meetings for free. We're just doing free meetings all summer just to get our online community built back up. If we have to start paying for a room, the dues might go up to 60, which is as high as they've been in the past, but per year, that's a really great benefit. And then also the reason why I joined NGH, the international organization, is they offer insurance. It's one of the approved agencies that you can get insurance from. So that was really, but I joined this chapter early on in 2015. And every meeting we have some sort of educational opportunity. So you can learn, we can learn from one another, from other guest speakers, and also just the community of being together with like-minded people. And then Jody is also on the board.
Yes, hello everyone. I am the events coordinator, and like Danny said, it's very reasonable to join us. And right now, actually, we are looking for maybe a permanent location, but I actually really have been enjoying moving around. I know we're from all over in Washington State, and so we have been meeting in different spots around the Seattle area. And we're going to also be having a special event in January for World Hypnotism Day. So that is in the works as well. World Hypnotism Day, I believe, is January 4th, and we're going to be having an event on that Saturday the 6th. And so look forward to information for that.
All right, we're going to turn it over to Jim Kellner, who's our presenter today. Thank you, Jim.
So much, everybody. And if you want to be involved in that, if you want to be involved in the planning committee with Jody, please reach out to her directly because she is looking for volunteers to help out. We need a location, and we're going to need, and then after we got the location, we'll need people that are willing to come together and to figure out how that's all going to work together. So we would love to have you on board. There was one other, we also need what was the financial one we were going to do? We were going to have
a new board member for fundraising.
If you have any kind of interest in fundraising, if you have experience with it, even better, but if you don't, that's fine. But we're not talking about selling candy bars and having bake sales. We're talking about, sending in requests to, organizations like BECU, which might give us a grant or something because we are a nonprofit organization. And so that would be really helpful. Just reach out to Danny or myself, and we will help you with that. I do want to let you know, so if you're at home, boy, it would have been awesome if I was really on top of things, and I would have had like some kind of a digital download. You could have just went and grabbed the download of this handout. Don't have that. But if you will email me, jim@jimkellner.com, jim@jimkellner.com, or just hit us up through the NGH information that you have. I will send you this document, which has all a lot of the information I'll be talking about today. And so, yeah, with that, I think we are ready to begin. Awesome. Okay. How many of you have an app already? Awesome.
You're in.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. How many of you have an app of your own? How many of you would like to have an app of your own? Possibly. Yeah. Yeah. Great. There's a lot of great reasons why I think that it's a great idea to have an app. And so we're going to explore how mobile apps can revolutionize professional hypnotism practices and improve client engagement. I hope that you will find this talk very activating. So, now it's actually working. Now, how many people are using AI right now? Chat GPT and that kind of stuff. Anybody using that? Oh, isn't it amazing? You gotta get on board. Listen, here's the thing. I got a message. Let me set my timer so I don't go over time here. Because I'll speak forever. I got a message from one of my friends I'm a business partner with. He's in the UK. Sends me a message about, I don't know, when ChatGPT first launched 6 months ago or something like that. I get a message from him. He goes, "Just call me as soon as you get up." I'm like, "Oh, what's going on?" He goes, "Dude, go to this website." And I go to a ChatGPT, and he was like, "Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody." Right? Don't say anything. I was like, "Oh my God, you didn't tell anybody." Right? Like the next day I did Gary Vee talking about it on TikTok. I'm like, "Oh, it's out of the bag." So the thing is, it's out of the bag. It could be the end of civilization. But until it is, it's a powerful tool. I don't think we should rely on it completely, but it is extremely, man, it is robust, it is powerful, it can do all kinds of great things for you. We're not to the point yet where it'll do a really original great stuff that's not going to be detectable by even humans. Most of us can look at it and go, it's probably AI. But it gives you a great outline. And that's where to start. I actually used one last night. I believe it was called Simplified, because I was like, oh, I need to put a PowerPoint together. And then I remembered I don't have a PowerPoint projector. I don't, I have the projector, I don't have the screen. I guess I could have used this. Anyway, it actually put one together for me. Pretty rudimentary one. And the title of it was Activating. And that's why I used Activating. So that was AI right there. So AI can be funny.
And you are always funny, Jim.
Why, thank you. Thank you. So I'm just gonna be honest with you, start off right away. When Danny first asked me about presenting about the app, I was like, I don't want to do that. Anybody guess why? So who knows what social proof is? So social proof is the definition. I don't remember what the definition is exactly, but social proof is people will they will look at you as maybe higher ranked than other people based on certain criteria. So if you drive by a restaurant and there's no cars out front, you want to go in? Probably not going to chance it, right? Even if the Google reviews are 4.5, well, I don't know. But if there's a place that is hopping, right? There's a lot of people out front. Yeah, of course, we want to go there. Now, there are certain things that create, say, social proof as well. So can you think of ways that would make you stand out? We'll say from your colleagues. I don't like to say competition. We're all just doing the same. We're just doing it differently. Can you think of examples of ways that'll make you stand out? Jody's a great example. What do you do that's different than maybe a lot of other hypnotists?
Well, I have, special areas of like who I see. And so I put my success coaching together with my, hypnotherapy practice. And so that's something that is unique. And then also, working specifically with certain things like people with trauma and specializing things like burnout.
Those are all awesome. The thing I'm thinking of though, book series.
My books, yeah.
Yes.
I was like, what is he thinking of?
Sorry, I thought it was just right. I should give you a little hint.
Thank you.
So Jody is a part of I don't know if you lead it or you're part of it, or anyway, you've written books.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I've written my own journals and then I've also co-authored several books.
Has anyone else written a book in here? Okay. And there's other ways. I mean, there's a myriad of ways of standing out. Danny put together her program. What's it called?
Soul Power Experience.
Soul Power Experience, things like that, right? So that's going to set you apart. Other things that will really set you apart are things like writing a book. What else? A podcast. What's that?
YouTube video, YouTube channel.
YouTube channel. Podcasts. Do a podcast. Anything that's going to make you stand out from everybody else, and especially right now, maybe apps too, right? Having an app. And I'll tell you the reason I know this, because I will go do a talk or I'll go do a grad night party and I'll say, oh, and by the way, if you want to get hypnotized at home, you can download my app. And there's always like, oh, we're downloading an app right there. So it's still a thing where it stands out. When you have an app, it stands out. And so there's a part of me that was kind of like, I don't want anybody else to stand out. One that's standing out. Yes, scarcity thinking. But what do we do with scarcity thinking? Bam, squash it right away. It won't serve you. And I found this time and time again, the more we elevate each other, the more we become elevated as well. So there was a slight, oh no, then it was like, oh, hell yes, I'm going to talk about apps. How can I get you your own app as well? I believe it's going to come to the point where there was a time when some people didn't have a website. I'm not going to have you raise your hands because some of you may not have a website. Get a website, you have to have a website. If you're in business, every business does. But I think it's going to come a point where everybody's going to have an app, right? Everybody's going to have an app, just like everybody has a website. You're going to be able to. So what can you do with an app? What are some of the things that you can think of? And if you have like a really unique, novel idea and you don't want to share it, that's fine. Get that. Protect your ideas. But what are some ideas that are not like solely your thing you might use an app for?
Meditations.
So meditations, yeah, you can have down. So like on my app, I've got meditations and I've got hypnosis sessions. One ASMR, I dabbled in that. I still don't get it. I don't. Anybody know what ASMR is? Yeah, I don't get it. Do you like it?
No, it's like what, 15% of people actually
Right,
experience the.
Yeah. So anyway, if you love ASMR, fantastic. I don't get it. But yes, so you can have meditation recordings on your app. What else? What else can we do?
Videos.
Videos, absolutely. You can have some videos on there. You know, so I don't know what the numbers are exactly, but we spend, I mean, how many times you need to do some work, or you just want to take some downtime, do you actually open up your laptop or go sit at your computer? It's so much easier to sit on your phone, and with an app, boy, it's right there. So some other things, you can do appointment scheduling. You could deliver, if you provide recordings to your clients, you could deliver them through an app. You know, right now I email them, but wouldn't it be much easier? Wow, they can just open up an app, type in their little code or something, and boom, they've got their recordings right there. So there's so many things. You can have a membership course on there. You know, I mean, there's so many opportunities to make a difference in the world. And we're going to talk about some ways that you might go about creating that app. One of the cool things about apps too is that you can reach your clients a little easier, depending by sending them a notification. I just signed up a notification the other day. I because of this talk, I was and because I'm trying to get my. If you're watching at home, you can download the Hypnosis Hero app. It's in the Google Play Store. There is not. There's not an app. There's not an Apple version yet. I'm getting to that. It's as I was telling them earlier, people in the room, it's more complicated, of course, going through iTunes and creating something for Apple. It's also a little more costly. I think it costs about twice as much. Still pretty cheap. I think I paid $70 to open up a developer account in iTunes, whereas it was, I think, $30 in Google Play. And so, yeah, so there's that. Something else.
Is that per year?
Well, you know what? I think so. I want to say it's per year. Yeah. And you know, depending on when you watch this, things change all the time. So don't hit me up and this video is 2 years old and Jim, you like this, it's $1,000. Like, well, okay. Now there's some different ways. I'm going to tell you some of the ways that you could go about this, and I'll tell you how I did mine. And I'm not saying that the way that I did mine is the best, but it's just the way that I didn't. Let's see. Your path to creating an app. So it can be daunting. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thanks, babe. Oh, she's got it right there on the screen. She's showing the app. Oh, that's a great idea. Let me show it too. Let's see. So this is my old Android phone. I have it loaded up here because I have an iPhone. So sorry. But you go download it, and if you can't download it, bummer. Okay, so hopefully the iPhone, check back in a month and see if it's on iTunes.
We'll let them in the newsletter. Let me know and I'll let everyone know.
Excellent.
You can show it on my phone if you want.
Thank you, Jody.
Yep, so it is.
Okay, so this is the way, I don't know if you all can see it. You tap the little icon and that opens up and you've got all these recordings that you can see, and there's meditation, hypnosis, and then over on the side, there's like there's some videos on what is hypnosis, things like that. You have the little splash screen. Thank you, Jody. So kind of fun. My target for this was actually younger people, because because they're more likely to probably utilize this, I thought. And because I want to get them started early, right? I want people to start using hypnosis when they're younger and really find the value in it. But there's recordings for everybody, of course. So the first choice that you have, does anybody have a lot of money they want to throw away? Anybody? I mean, tens of thousands of dollars? No, nobody? Come on. What? You at home do. I know you at home do. If you've got tens of thousands, and I shouldn't say throw away, but to utilize, if you've got tens of thousands of dollars to utilize, then you're probably one of your best bets. I'm going to save you a lot of time, a lot of frustration, is to hire an expert. Hire an expert. And that can be as easy as typing in, app creator near me. The reason I say near me, I think it's better if you can find somebody across town, because having worked with a company in India on another project that I'm working with, nothing against the Indian people, but they're on a far away. And if I'm seeking remedy for undeliverables, it's a little more difficult to sue somebody in India. If they're across town, much easier. Even if they're in the United States, it's easier. However, you can probably get an app created for about 1/10 of the price. So instead of, $60,000, maybe $6,000. So, and so this is a direction that I and a colleague went with, and we're still hoping that something will come about with it. But it's right now, it looks like we've probably just spent $6,000 to learn. And that's where we're looking at it. We're trying to look at it like that, because that's what this is all about. When you're in business, you have business expenses. That's what it is. I mean, how many times does a McDonald's, they throw tons of food away, it's a write-off, right? All those things. So I really want to encourage people, just as a kind of a side note, is to not look at these things that you invest in as a loss. Like, I'm never going to do that again. I learned my lesson. No, what you did is you learned your lesson, so now you can do better next time. And really what I say is, I had to create an app to learn how to create an app. Because there are things you would not think of. There are things that you would never even dream of and go, dude, why wouldn't you put this in the app? This seems obvious. And that they just, number one, they're not a hypnotist. Number two, they can't see in my mind. And so things that you think are just going to be really easy, and that things, honestly, you wouldn't even think about. And I'm trying to think of good examples of that right now. But I can't think of good examples of it. But there were several things where it was like, you want me to pay now to fix this thing that shouldn't even be a problem right now? I don't even, why would I do that? But but don't let that scare you off. Again, my colleague and I, we each spent a few grand. We learned some stuff. We hope that it's still going to work out. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But it really was the only option for us, because we didn't have 60 grand, right? We didn't have 30 grand, 20 grand to spend to work with like a local company. And that was some of the prices that we were quoting. And so it's a little bit more advanced app than what we're working with today. So if you've got some money or you want to invest, maybe take out a small business loan if it's that important to you, if you have a really good idea. There are some hypnosis apps out there that do very well. Anybody know Victoria Gallagher or know of her? Victoria Gallagher. She's very well respected in the industry, and she has an app. HypnoCloud. So, and this is actually available on Android and iPhone. So, and you're going to look at it and you're going to go, holy crap, this is so much better than Hypnosis Hero. because she spent a lot more money on it, and she's been doing this for decades. I think she's been doing it for at least 10, maybe 20 years, doing apps. And so it's a beautiful app. She's got a new one coming out called Believe. And go follow Victoria. She's an amazing person. We do a podcast together. I'm like her co-host on her Power of the Mind podcast. We go send her a friend request on Facebook, that kind of a thing. Beautiful. I spelled believe on G, but believe live? No, beautiful. E-E-L. E-I or I-E?
IEBE.
I-E-B-E.
I think.
Now, this one, it could already be out. Depending on when you're watching this, she's had all kinds of trouble with this, and I can relate because I'm like, I've had all kinds of trouble with mine. So from idea to now, it's been over 2 years since me and David have been working on this one app. And a lot of that was just because we're busy with other things. I mean, you could do it a lot sooner, absolutely, but we've got our own businesses going. And this is for her, this is more of her full-time thing. When you download her app, she's got thousands of recordings. And she is subscription based. So you get some free recordings, and then you also can pay, I think it's $10 a month to get access to all of them. So that's kind of cool. As you'll find on the Hypnosis Hero app, there's supposed to be ads eventually. I don't have the ads yet because that's another step you have to go through. As far as subscription, I ran into an issue because once you upload an app, if you say that it's free, you can't change it later in Google Play. So keep that in mind. So now I am going to have to go back, recreate it, delete that app, hope that the people that are already subscribed will come over to the new app. And so I don't even know if it's worth it. That's where I'm kind of at. I'm going to focus on the Apple one first, and then maybe circle back to that. So there's also some apps out there that claim to be meditation apps, but they actually have a lot of hypnosis in there too. Insight Timer, it's one of those. The Calm app, there's a lot of Headspace, these kind of ones that they say they're guided meditation, but when you listen to it, you go, this is hypnosis, and you do it. Well, I mean, really, it's if you've got the money and you can find a good development team, I mean, that's fantastic. But here's another thing. Even then, you know, Victoria has spent thousands of dollars and she's got a lot of experience, but even then you run into issues because, you know, a lot of times they want to tell you that, yes, that we're going to get it done on this certain date. And literally it's 6 months overdue now, I think. So you're going to run into some hassles, but is it worth it? I mean, I've seen kind of the prototype of the Believe app, and it is really beautiful. And when you download the HypnoCloud app, you're going to see it is really beautiful. There's some other hypnosis apps out there that are really awesome. So it's well worth it if you've got the money and you've got the time to do that. White label. Do you guys know what white label books are? You know what the white label books are? So white label book is when, do you want to tell what a white label book is?
No.
Okay, yeah.
But I know what.
Yeah, okay.
But
So white label book was if I decide I'm going to write a book on hypnosis, I just write this general book about hypnosis, and I say, you know what, I'm not going to put my name on it. I'm going to let anybody who wants to put their name on it. So you pay me $5, $3, $2, something like this, and now you can say that you wrote this book. So, hey, kind of a nice way to get a little bit of social proof. I'm not a big fan of it for myself. I feel like it's cheating. But if that helps you get ahead, maybe that's okay. I wouldn't mind doing it for like an ebook or something, or maybe an opt-in. But here's the problem that you're going to run into with like a white label book is that, so I'll give you an example. I bought this book by this, I mean, very renowned stage hypnotist. He's awesome as well. He's a really great guy. I got his book and I'm reading it and going, wow, this is some great stuff in this book. And I actually posted in a Facebook group, this is a great book. Who's read this book? And somebody underneath it wrote, wow, what did you find so great about it? I was like, that's rude. And so I keep reading it. I get through the first 2 chapters and I keep reading. I go, what's going on here? And this sucks. It was on marketing, and it was all just kind of this general BS that I could have Googled, you know? And I'm going, oh, you know what happened? he wrote the first 2 chapters, tacked them onto a book that was a white label. And so, you know, you pick it up and I mean, hey, you send it off to a client, a prospective client. Hey, I've got this book, you know, they look at it, they open it up, they, well, some good stuff. This guy must be good. Let's have him come in for a keynote. Let's have him come to a show. They don't read the whole book probably. So so that's the downside. There's probably not going to be a great like some, you know, that thing where it's not going to be the best evidence of what a good hypnotist you are, what a good writer you are. So that's what, and white label apps would just be doing the same kind of a thing. Is somebody creates an app, so maybe they create a meditation app, and they go, hey, I'm not going to call this, you know, Hypnosis Hero or Meditation Hero. Shoot, write that down. I got plenty of domain names. You guys take it. Somebody grab it quick. So, and then what they do is they go, I'm just going to do a white label. Now you pay them a couple $1,000 or maybe whatever they charge, or maybe a subscription fee. They probably charge you a subscription, and you can put your content in there, and you can call it, you know, Tina's meditation app, or Meditation Hero. And so that could be a good way for you to go. Really, I think that's a fantastic way to go. And so you can definitely check that out.
So Jim, then that becomes more like a template,
Exactly,
basically,
yep.
where you can go in and you can customize and you can put all of your own content into it. But that's an easy way maybe to get started.
Absolutely. Yep. I think so. And I didn't investigate it a whole lot. We looked into it for the other app, but there was nothing that really fit well. You're going to pay extra for customization. So if they have to go in and tweak the code, you're going to pay more for that. But you know, if you can make it work, great option. Plug and play. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of resources to tell you about where to go for that kind of a thing. One of the things that I would recommend now is that you go with has anybody used Upwork or Fiverr?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Upwork.com, Fiverr.com. You could probably just type in their white label meditation app, and you probably find something pretty easily. And that's going to be on the sheet here too. Boom. For those at home that want to hit me up for it. So I didn't have enough coffee today yet. I think I'm just trying not to drink coffee, and that's probably the problem. So you use the one there, and for white label, also for the professional. I need to circle back a little bit, because if you're looking for professional app developer, you could also go this route. You can look on Upwork, Fiverr. Upwork is a little bit more high end. You might find more professionals there, which means you're probably going to pay a little more. If you go with Fiverr, you're going to get it's going to cost you less, but you may not get exactly what you want. I would always say if you're on Fiverr, go with a level 2 or higher. You don't want to be their experiment, right? And the good thing about doing these platforms, which I really wish we would have stuck with these. For instance, when we were at the halfway point and they wanted more money, and we're looking at the app going, this is not what we want. Oh, it'll be fine. You could not send that payment in. And if they don't complete it and do what you want, you can give them a bad review. So maybe that's going to give them a little more incentive to do it. Now they could just cancel that account, start a new one or whatever. I don't know how that works, but when you're working solely independently with a company or a person, you just don't have a whole lot of remedy, you know, unless you want to sue them, and which can be costly and kind of a pain again, like unless it's someplace across town from you. So these are also, just use these for other stuff too. You know, that's where I got my I got the icon, the app icon. I got it on there. There's I use it for all kinds of stuff, and I want to start using it more. Think about this. This is so important. Are there tasks that you're doing right now that somebody else could do? Probably all of us, right? Think about how much you make per session, per hour, whatever. And if you could pay somebody, you know, literally what comes out to maybe $3 to $5 an hour, would it make sense? Have them do it for you? Yeah. And if you're in Pakistan, $3 to $5 an hour is decent wage. So you're not taking advantage of them. So I highly recommend you start doing this. Try to use it as much as possible, even if you don't think you're to that level. In one of my classes one time, somebody said, because I've been through a couple of assistants, and that's another thing. You can't, if you hire an assistant, they don't work out, just like any other business. Don't give up and go, well, I'm gonna hire anybody else again. You know, every business, that's what happens. You hire somebody, well, I screwed up. I'll know better next time. Let them go, get somebody else. But I'd hired an assistant, and then one of my students was like, well, that's okay for you because you're at this other level than I am. But my thinking is, how much further along would I have been if I would have had an assistant from the beginning, working on some of these tasks that I don't need to do, even investigating an app. You know, hey, assistant, please go find me, 3 developers that could put together a white label app for me. These are the criteria. Save you so much time that you could be spent on serving more clients, making more money, touching more lives. Now, AI assisted app creation. This is something exciting, and this is why I think that pretty soon everybody's going to have an app. Just Joe walking down the street will have his own app. But this is an emerging technology, of course, and I have not tried it out yet. Part of it is because I'm afraid if I go to one of these companies and I type in all my information, they're just going to steal my idea, and that's my own thinking. But but that's a viable way to do it, right? And especially, if you have no other options, if you look at this do-it-yourself options and go, oh, it looks too complicated, because it does look complicated, believe me, and it is. And you can't spend thousands of dollars. Maybe that's your best option, So think about that. And so what I put on the sheet here is because I don't have any AI assisted sources for you, what I say is just type into your Google search bar, or Bing search bar, AI assist or AI generated apps. And you'll find something just like that. Now, final option. There's probably other options. Anybody else know of another option? Probably is. I don't know. Genie in a bottle. The other one is do it yourself, and that's what I did. I don't necessarily know if it's the best option because it took a lot of time that I could have been serving other clients. And actually, it's funny that I talk about the assistant. So I'll tell you kind of my dilemma. So I have an assistant that works on some social media stuff and helps me out with some other projects, and I need to get the the iTunes version of the app ready. And I'm going, oh, could she go in? Could she do that? And I'm thinking, well, why couldn't she? She's smart. I mean, she could figure it out. Like maybe it ends up being 2 or 3 weeks of just paying her literally to learn how to do it. I'm okay with that. But there is this control factor, like, oh, but what if they do it wrong? What if they do this? What if they do that? Is that how a CEO thinks? A successful one, right? There probably are some micromanagers, definitely. But how much further along will I be if I just go, let me try, right? Let me give her the information, say, hey, will you try to put this together? If you can, that's fine. But I'm just thinking it's kind of a daunting task. It is, because I have to go relearn the software. Every platform's different. And so that's kind of my dilemma right now. Take a vote. Should I assistant or to vote for assistant? Should I have my assistant give it a try first? Yeah.
Yes.
I think so. I think I'm going to. Now talking to you guys and trying to sell you on getting yourself some help with 5. Yes, I'm gonna at least try. Maybe she'll at least get part of it done. I don't know. Because I did have her work on another project and she kind of was like, I think you should hire somebody else to do this part. I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. This is kind of a specialty thing. So let's see. I'll be happy to report back and we'll find out.
I have clients in tech who develop apps, and
Oh.
I promise you that when they think they're done and they go back, they get feedback and they have to change things. So you can always tell them to tweak it. Yeah, absolutely. You can do that. And I think, hiring that out, because if you compare how much time you're going to spend on it versus someone else.
Right. It makes so much
You'll be
sense.
making more money,
It
like
really
you said, per
does.
hour. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And look, guys, if you hire someone in the Philippines, for instance, they many of them speak very good English. And my experience has been, my assistant, I finally so I've used American, and so look, I've tried American assistants, I've tried British assistants. So if you're thinking I'm some jerk for not hiring in country, the reason is because I paid a lot and got nothing, literally nothing. And it was my fault. I didn't do a good enough job of vetting them. Or is it just that wasn't my skill set yet? Hey, we all learn, right? I didn't know. They seemed awesome. And then maybe I should have been more. One of the things I will tell you, if you do hire an assistant, is to because so one of the problems with my last, the one that really didn't work out is I said, these are all the things that I'm working on. And guys, I'm working on a ton of crap right now. I mean, really, I've got just so many projects in the works, which kind of sucks because is it better to have 10 projects open or one done? Right? Much better have one done, have that book written rather than have a half-written book and a half-traded app and a half-traded membership course and all this stuff. Much better have one thing done, but for some reason, I can't do that. But I was like, pick something. Which one of these do you want to work on? Please just do it, and then left them alone. And I can't really blame them in some ways. What are they? They're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know to do this and stuff. So what I have found, as actually Victoria's advice to me, give them one task to start with. So right now it's create some social media posts about hypnosis and about and with my testimonials. She does a great job. It's just always out there a couple times a week. Now sometimes I look at it and I go, oh, that doesn't sound like me at all. That sounds a little too feminine or something, or different things, And but I'm like, hey, you know what? I didn't have to do it, so who cares? The CEO of McDonald's isn't micromanaging every little thing, probably. Think high end, think big stuff. If that's your thing, if you're happy just to stay on a smaller scale, no problem, no issue with that. But if you want to level up and do big things, boy, get some help. Sooner the better. Do it yourself. Now, there's a ton of do-it-yourself apps out there. So one thing you can do is just say, and I'll tell you why I chose these two particular ones in just a moment. The one thing is you can do is just search, create my own app or do-it-yourself app, DIY app. Search for that on Google and Bing, whatever you want to do, and you'll find some options. Again, I'll tell you why I chose these in just a moment. So the ones that I've tried, appmysite.com, APP, and if you're in the room, it's on your sheet. It's on your sheet. appmysite.com. When I used it, and this is a great option though, this is one great option. When I used it, it turns out all it really did was convert your WordPress site into an app. So if you remember back maybe 5-10 years ago, maybe your bank had an app, but it really was like it was kind of like their web presence, but just in an app. And it kind of looked a little funny, and it was nothing as robust as now, right? It was kind of like the mobile view, but it was a little easier to use. That's kind of what that does. So it's a great option, especially if you have a very simple website. If you've only got 3 or 4 things on there, because it'll be easy for people to click around. Mine, sadly, and I don't recommend this, is I got a lot of stuff on my website, which is everybody says is not a good idea. Don't do that, but that's the reality. And so it was very complicated. There was so many different things, and it just was, and it's not optimized for mobile exactly like a mobile app. So it just wasn't that friendly. But again, if you just want an app, if you want to get an app out there, it's a great option, especially to start with, because they could get your online calendar. They could, all these, they could get your, maybe watch a video, those kind of things. So great option. I just looked at it last night as I was putting this together, and they actually now have the option where you can create the app. So they have a couple different options. And when I say create the app, it's kind of actually, now that I think about it, what I'm using is almost like a white label app. It really is, because they give me a platform and I go in and I select what I want. So what do you want your splash page to look like? And it gives you the size of what the photo needs to look like, the image needs to be, and you go into Canva or whatever you use to create stuff, or you go on Fiverr and find somebody that say, hey, you type in app icons, app splash page, and you find somebody to do it for you. And then I just put that there. Boom, that's done. Then they say, do you want to do the, it actually has a bunch of different options. You can put videos, you can put radio statement, you can put a chat bot, you can put all kinds of stuff in there. And it really is just kind of like a modular system. These are the things that I want in my app. One of the things that I ran into, the one that I actually use now is called Mobi Roller, MOBIROLLER.com. Moby Roller. It's on your page here. MOBIROLLER.com. I don't know that it's necessarily the best. It's just the one that I use. That's what Hypnosis Hero is on right now, Moby Roller. One of some of the limitations, I had to shrink the audio files down. So I don't have an ear for music, so I'm not sure if the quality is very good because I can't really tell. I kind of go, I don't know if the quality is very good, but I can't tell because I'm just not an audiophile. Because they don't want too much, you take up too much space, right? Because they have to pay for that. And so, and the way you do that, well, I'm not going to go through that whole process, but when you create an MP3, you have different options for saving it, and you can save it as a big file or a smaller file. And I'm not sure it makes a difference. Any audio files in here, do you know if it makes a big difference? It's a smaller one or not? I don't know. Anyone who's listened to it, did you go, wow, that sounds really weird, doesn't sound very good quality? I don't know. You'll tell me later. Listen to it later, let me know. But one of the big reasons, again, is I was like, oh, I really, for the social proof, I really want to get something out there, say I have an app. The other thing is, I have this philosophy that I developed a long time ago, and that philosophy is, I want to give everyone the Jim Kellner experience. And so what I mean by that is I want everybody, no matter what level of income they have, what the financial situation is, to have the opportunity to work with Jim Kellner in some way. Looks like that, maybe she just closed her video. Because so the way that I achieve that is I have the app, which has the free options. Even with the other one, there'll be some free options and then some ads. And then if you want, you'll pay $1 a month or something, you don't have any ads. So it's a very inexpensive option. I also have YouTube. I have instructional things, I have inspirational things, and I also have hypnosis on there. So everybody can have the experience. I also see people in person. I also do group stuff. So at every level, somebody should be able to work with me, should be able to get some Jim Kellner hypnosis. That's the idea here. I encourage us all to do that, make it available. And you can also think about that as your funnel, because maybe they start off watching a YouTube video, and then they go to the app, and then they go here, and then pretty soon, and I've had this, in fact, I would say at least half of the people that I work with individually will tell me, at least half will say, I've watched all your videos on YouTube, or I saw your videos, I saw this video, that kind of thing. If you're not making videos, get out there and make some videos. They're super, super important. What kind of questions you guys have so far?
I love this information, but I want details.
Details. Tell me
Yes.
more.
I want to know how to use ChatGPT. I love ChatGPT, but my queries are really, or the statements that I input are really simple. And I know that I could be getting a lot more out of it, and I want to do that. And also about an assistant. I would love to hear more about an assistant, where one gets an assistant, what one can have an assistant do, what you have. You've given all kinds of great high-level information,
Yeah.
but I want all the exact specific details. And also, I'm just starting out as a hypnotist. I don't have a website. You're talking about an app, how to do an app. I would like to know.
Your website first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to know about the website side of things.
I'll tell you, the easiest thing for ChatGPT is to say, act like whatever you want. We literally, me and Grant, my colleague, we were working on a sticker, and he literally just put in, act like a comedy writer and give me how would you say it, like a joke about hypnosis. And we got this great thing. And if you go to HypnoThoughts, come by and stop and ask us for one of the stickers we're going to have. It's going to be really, anybody going to HypnoThoughts? Sean? Cool. It's gonna be a really funny sticker. If I have some left over, I'll pass them around. So act like. You can also search for ChatGPT prompts. Literally, or go on TikTok. I mean, I get so many ideas on TikTok. Anybody else use ChatGPT? Have some success with it? You want to share some? What can you share with us?
Yeah, I would definitely say act like a, excuse me, and then I brought my water. So act like a, for sure, is a good one. And then be specific. You said you were more generic with your questions. Get more detailed.
Yeah.
With your questions, you can get as detailed as you want to get. And then if you like what you get, but you want it to expand on certain points, then say, great, now expand on this. Or now give me more detail about that.
Yeah.
So that is really helpful. And I use it more like we were talking about with white label things and things like that, right? Use it, for outlines or templates or different things, and then go in and tweak it, make it your own. So I don't typically use it as is, but I'll get a lot of great like ideas, like names for things, like, have it brainstorm around a name for a program, for example.
Yes, a website name, for example.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
I've
yeah.
done hundreds of them, but none of them are what I want. But anyway, yes,
So
yes.
put in the things that you're like, okay, I'm starting here. So, give me more names that are like this, for example. You
Oh,
can
yeah,
do
I've done,
something like-
I've done.
Yeah, that's really helpful to just get more detail. And the more you use it, it gets to know what you're asking for and what you like. And then you'll get better responses over time too, which is helpful.
So you didn't take a course?
No.
Neither of you have, okay.
But I do watch a lot of TikTok videos.
Yeah, and I've gotten a lot of ideas from prompts from other people online and
Yeah.
things too. So yeah, when he was saying search for prompts, smart.
Okay, that's a good, now that's a great idea.
You can also say, you can literally say, and you can also use Bard AI is Google's version of it. If you want it, because ChatGPT 3 is not connected to the internet, or by the time you watch this, or even by right now, it could be on the internet. So you can pay $20 a month to get ChatGPT 4, which is connected to the internet, so you'll get different information. But here's the thing, you can have a conversation with it. You can say, what do you need to know to, help me to create a new website? To help me determine my target audience. I use it to, I put in, what do you need to know to help me to create a 4-part membership course for success? And it'll ask you some questions. It'll spit out some answers. And then, like Jody said, you can ask it to revise it. I came up with but I actually put it like, it gave me this there was this one thing I had, it gave me this great stuff, but it was using some big words. And I said, make this 8th grade level. And boom, now you've got something that's more accessible. Everyone can read it. And that's important. Can I just give you one tip right now? Is I would just go home, if you can't figure out a good name, is get your name. This is a tip I give all my students. Just get your damn name, jimkeller.com. It's a great starting place. When you're first starting out, you think, oh, there's so much pressure to have the right name. I get it, because I've been through that. Go ahead.
I've already got my name, but my name,
Perfect.
it's already registered, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. But MarjorieEllsworth.com, it's too damn long and complicated. And
Yeah.
how do you pronounce Marjorie? Margery? How do you pronounce it really? And plus, I call myself Marge, but you can't do Marge Ellsworth because then it looks like Marge E. Ellsworth. And, so
I appreciate all that, but can I just say,
Yeah.
that's great though, because there's gonna come a time maybe when you want to switch careers and you're not gonna want to be, the magnificent M hypnotist, right? So, you may want to become an author. So yeah, there you go. That's your thing.
There's a free name. for it.
So I've only got an hour for this class, so I can't go into detail on all these things. What you're asking about, it's because the easiest thing to get an assistant is to know somebody who has one and go, hey, Andrew, who do you use and can I recommend somebody? That's how I found my final one. But if you come on in, if you go to Fiverr.com and find somebody to create like your website, for instance, or you find somebody who does some business cards for you, you go, well, I do some really good graphic arts. Maybe you want to hire them then to do some more stuff. And then maybe you start working with them on doing even more tasks. You can go on Upwork or Fiverr and just put in assistant. And you'll find people that'll happily do all kinds of different things. You can also type in to search query, Philippine assistant in the Philippines. And this is a little bit challenging because you're going to find a company that's going to tack on an extra charge, of course. And you do want to vet them. I wouldn't spend a whole lot of money up front because maybe they may not be good. So, I mean, like I said, really the best option is, if you can find somebody who already has an assistant, then that's going to be best. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the time to go into detail on all these things, and I apologize for that. But you'll get so much by just doing this, going in there. Have you played with it yet? Yeah. There's so many options in there. I highly recommend it.
so much easier with all this.
It
Yes, believe me. Oh, yes.
Yeah, great.
All right. Other questions, comments, concerns? And I can't, and the other thing too, I didn't want to, I couldn't go through really a step by step of my app because you may not want to use that platform. So if I went through all of them, it would be incredibly difficult. Now, I will tell you, this is the reason that I chose the programs that I use. Anybody use appsumo.com? Change your life. All right, so Sumo.com and Dealify, if you're in Dealify.com. Those of you at home, email me, you'll get these links. The reason I use these two sites because they offer incredible deals for brand new software or stuff, or they're trying to raise money for their software platform. So for instance, MobiRoller, they launched this new app and they go, we really need a lot of money right now. We need money to go to the next level. So what they do is they go, hey, tell you what, AppSumo, put our platform, or put our app on our platform on your platform to sell it. It's like a marketplace. It's like going to the mall. The AppSumo and Dealify, like going to the mall, a bunch of different platforms. And they say, give people a great deal, a deal they can't say no to, and it's a lifetime deal. Most of the deals on AppSumo and Dealify are lifetime. So I paid $79. I have MobiRoller, well, for either one of our lifetimes. Now, the downside is that maybe they go out of business. Could happen in a year or two, or even less time, right? They send you an email, hey, sorry, we're wrapping up. Or maybe they just disappear. I only spent $79, right? So and I've got a bunch of different programs that I've used. Some of them also turn out to be garbage. There's one that I was using that turns out to be just absolute garbage. I think I spent $60-70 on it. That's it. Bummer. That's just another business expense. We have business losses all the time, but it totally makes up for it. I've got one called Sociomodials that I use to schedule my social media posts. You don't want it now because it costs more. Well, actually, it's still pretty cheap, I think, actually, because they've still got a lifetime deal. But like Hootsuite, I don't remember what the cost is now, but it's crazy expensive. It does mostly the same thing as Hootsuite as far as scheduling social media posts. And I got it for like $59 or $49 for a lifetime. So go check these sites. And if you go there, you will find App My Site is on there right now. App My Site, you can get App My Site right now for, I think it was $60. And the great thing about AppSumo, at least, you have 60 days. You try it out 60 days. Within 60 days, you don't like it, boom, they'll give you a refund. Highly, highly recommend it, guys. Really, it has saved me so much money. And that's how I choose a lot of my platforms. And that's why I chose those two. And so that's why I don't want to go really in depth with MobiRoller, because I wouldn't necessarily say go get MobiRoller, because I don't know. I mean, it was complicated. Maybe there's a better program out there. I just got a really good deal on it. So I suspect they're all pretty complicated when you're learning them. Yeah, Tina.
How do people find out about your app other than word of mouth and your own marketing? When people search for
Great question.
actually?
Great question. Yeah. Well, they can go to the App Store, and if they search hypnosis, hopefully it'll pop up. I also do a podcast, a video podcast, Friday nights, 7:30 p.m. And I call it Hypnosis Hero. And so I invite hypnotists on there. I even interview them, and then they do some hypnosis. And this is sponsored by Hypnosis Hero. If you want to get hypnotized at home, download the app. And then I also put posts out on social media. Download the app. Victoria spends a lot of money on advertising. She advertises the app.
And other than social proof, what are your intentions for the app in the long term?
Well, so I'll circle back to the idea that I want everyone to have an opportunity to work with me. And so that gives people the opportunity right in the palm of their hand. They can have that Jim Kellner experience. You're welcome. And I mean, you should all have the Marjorie experience, the teenage experience, all those things. Everybody should be doing that. Also, hopefully at some point there's some money involved. My app will probably never make a significant amount of money because this one, I mean, really, if you had to choose between the two, it's a better app.
To be considered advertising.
Yeah, advertising. However, you're going to find that people are going to listen to that are gonna use my app that may even have this one downloaded, but why would they listen to mine and not Victoria's?
Or is this free?
Okay, heard she's got some free stuff too.
I don't
Because
know.
we like you.
Exactly,
Mhm.
really, that's what it comes down to. The more connections you make with people through video, through social media posts, through blogs, all this stuff, the more they're gonna want to work with you and not somebody else.
But it sounds like you're spending a large percentage of your time doing marketing and building stuff instead of doing hypnosis and helping people.
That's the bummer. Yeah, honestly, well over half of my time is spent on marketing, social proof, all that stuff, well over. My time, anybody else, does anybody else spend a lot of time on that? And when I talk about marketing, I talk about writing books. I mean, I talk about, creating an app, writing a blog, all these things. That's the reality. Any entrepreneur, you're gonna spend a lot of time, or you're gonna hire somebody. Now that I have Chris on board, I spend a lot, I don't have to spend as much time on my social media stuff. But yeah, that's the reality. And it does, it sucks. I mean, there were times in the beginning, especially when I'd be sitting there going, I shouldn't have to do this. And my students say that I shouldn't have to do that. I'm right, you shouldn't. You should just be able to hypnotize people. That's all, you should be. Sorry, that's the way it goes. But think about this, even like the people that are leading our industry, like Paul McKenna, Steve G. Jones, Victoria Gallagher, they spend a lot of time on advertising, even if all it is going on a podcast or going on a TV show, right? Brad Pitt probably doesn't want to go on the press junket. He should just be able to act, right? He should be able to just show up and act. He's got to go on the press junket. He's got to go on the talk shows. Everybody that works for themselves, you have to spend a significant amount of time just telling people about yourself. Yeah, I know the same look I had, because I worked at a clinic. Where they did all the advertising, and I got to it was the best thing ever. I got to sit in a room and work with 20 or 30 clients a week, and it was magical. And oh man, it was great. On the other hand, I wouldn't trade it now because I love all that I'm doing now. Because I can write, I was stifled. I couldn't write blogs, couldn't do videos or anything. Now, I can write, I can make videos, I can make an app, all these different things. So, yeah, I feel for you. I do, Margie. You're just now learning that part. Yes.
Well, everything that you're doing and putting out there is helping people.
It is.
Because
That's
you
good.
have
Great point. Thank you.
free sessions on there. You have these downloads, you have your videos, people are learning.
Yep.
You're writing a blog. So yeah, you are, what we do for our marketing is helping people. If I'm doing a podcast, I'm always giving something of value, something they can take home, something they can do for themselves. So I think when I think of it that way, I don't feel as burdened by it. And then hire out the stuff you don't want to deal with.
I totally see what you're saying. It's just, I'm interested in hypnosis, not in the other stuff.
People need to be educated about hypnosis,
I don't mean that they
to be
don't.
open
I
and to be able to have them know, like, and trust you to come to you. They gotta get to you.
It
Yeah.
sounds very important for having a business, but, it sounds, having a podcast that could help people doing this, but I'm interested in hypnosis. So it's very interesting hearing all this.
You gotta find the people who come to you for the hypnosis. And I think that's why if you really focus everything on the educating and then bringing them to you for the hypnosis, then you get that reward. I think you will. Yeah. We all had those feelings, like Jim was saying, like starting out, of like, oh, I have my own business now. Like people aren't just like showing up.
Yeah.
I have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you build it, they will come. Bullshit. So I want to make sure everybody at home heard what Jody said, and she said that instead of looking at it as all these extraneous tasks that you have to do, you're still helping people. You may not be hypnotizing people when you do a blog or something, but you're still helping them. When you do an app and you're doing recordings, you're helping people. So I think it's a great way to thank you for saying that. Did you want to add something too?
I just wondered when you're done, ask a question.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Behind you?
Yeah.
What is that word at the last? DE what?
Oh,
Oh,
deal.
dealify.
A?
DEA, yeah,
Thanks.
dealify. It's also on your sheet here.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay.
Jim, I have a question.
Yes, Faith.
Does having an app build your email list? Do they have to give you their email to get the app?
You can do that. I didn't set mine up that way, or did I? I don't, at this point, I don't even know. It might be somewhere. I know for our other app, it was capturing email. The great thing is though, is you don't even necessarily need it with an app because you can send them notifications. But yeah, when you do if you've ever been on those apps, I hate these apps, but it's more and more like this. And I think we have to do it anyway. You know, like you can't even try out the app. You can't see what it's like until you put your info in, which is so irritating because then you put your info in and you go, I don't want this app. And now they've got my info and now it's irritating. But yeah, so you can capture email address that way.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay. All right, I want to bring you to attention to this. I'd love for you, if you are someone like Marjorie, for instance, join me for the Launch Now online workshop. Level up your business. We actually go through all this. We help you to we help you to launch your website. We go to the legal stuff, marketing, videos, how to find an assistant.
And where is it? That's on here somewhere?
That's on here. Yes, you can go to this website here. It's with my Hypnotic Success Academy. You can also just scan the QR code there. So I don't know if this will work. If you can scan the QR code through the camera, probably not. But go to hypnoticsuccessacademy.com. There's also a couple of free resources on there. There'll be more on there as well. And then if you want to connect with me, please do. Oh, and use the code NGH to get $100 off that course starting soon. And if you just want to get updates about what's going on, I keep people updated on conferences that are coming up, events in the area, and special offers. You can go to sign up on my website to get my hypnotic confidence recording. I think for hypnotists, to hypnotize confidence is almost like number one. You can do just about anything if you have enough confidence, and they'll go into hypnosis. And you can get that JimKellnerHypnotist.com/4-hypnotist. It's on your paper here. And finally, just want to remind everybody, NGH.org, NGHWA.org. Please join us. So inexpensive. Get to hang out with cool people. Get on the directory. Put it on your business cards. Shows you're a professional. And also, I know some people aren't on social media, but it will keep you from being connected. I think professionally, you want to be on the social media. And for your business, I think you do. You'll find out more about things that are going on. So even if you just go on twice a week just to check things, please join the group, Facebook.com/Pacific Northwest Hypnotists. For instance, next week, we are having a hypnotic lunch out of Mindemans. Are you going to that one? No?
My family.
Family. Anybody going to hypnotic lunch next week?
When,
McMenamins.
but when,
Father.
Bothell, yep.
when, not where. I know, but.
Oh, okay.
We'll
I think it's at noon or, it's on my phone. That's why I can't get it right now.
Saturday the 15th at noon.
No,
Oh,
Are there any members of NGHWA.org or NGH who are in more centrally located in Seattle? Bothell is too far. Everett is too far.
Oh, absolutely. Right.
Further south, because most of them wouldn't come. I probably won't. Maybe I'll come back again. It's such a long trip, but it's such a great experience. Being here in person
Yeah.
is really great also, but it is such a long distance to go.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's a lot of people that are like further south, like kind of closer to SeaTac in downtown Seattle. We're all in Tacoma. We're kind of all over.
Yeah, just downtown Seattle. I mean, people who would attend a meeting. Because probably not too many people from downtown Seattle or south
Yeah.
are going to be coming up to Everett.
We are experimenting with different locations, and part of the thing is like most of us that are in this organization that show up, we're in the North End, and so we schedule things that are close to us. If we have enough people that are down on that end, we'll absolutely do that, and we will schedule something down south. Probably after Marysville, we will go. In fact, I'm gonna make a commitment to that. Right, we'll go.
Well, Mountain
Somewhere.
Terrace next.
Oh, Mountain Terrace,
And we're
yeah.
figuring it out, yeah.
I think we will. We'll do. We've also had a hypnotic lunch down in Puyallup. So it's a little, still pretty far for you, I'm
We've
guessing.
got some, like around Northgate.
Northgate?
We've got all over. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to set something up, we could do a lunch or something in downtown.
This is only my first meeting, so I don't want to set anything up, but I want to attend more meetings.
We want your input. We absolutely want your input. I will tell you also that we welcome, and not just you, Marjorie, but anybody out there if you would like to go into the Pacific Northwest Hypnosis group, I created this group a few years ago so we could all connect more. It is not my group. It's for all of us. You can set something up. If you want to say, hey, if anybody want to meet me in Burien for lunch, hypnotic lunch, we'd love to come out, join you. I drive all over the place to connect with people. So yeah, we'll definitely do that. We also go out and do street hypnosis. Yeah.
Seems like a great group. So happy I found you guys.
Great, we're so glad you found us too.
Right.
Absolutely. Okay, that's my time. Unless you have any more questions, comments, concerns? All right.
This was really informative. Thanks
Thanks,
a lot.
Marjorie. Glad you
Thanks,
could come.
Dan. You're so great. We
Yeah,
just wanted
thank
to
you.
promote you. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
That's all
Thank you
your
so
great
much.
information. We'll see you later, Faith.
Thank you.
Take care.
Oh, I just wanted, I had lunch with Roy Hunter, but I don't know, for those of you who know Roy,